Elite Dangerous and Star Citizen has many things in common, but there are also things that they do very differently, and one of them is the way the ships are designed. Today's video is sponsored by SecretLab. We all strive for the best possible gaming experience, but the importance of a good quality chair is often underestimated. SecretLab produces some of the most comfortable and high quality gaming chairs you can get. So upgrade your Commander chair today and fly in style and comfort. Follow the link in the video description to their store, type in your height, your weight, and it will tell you which chairs fit you for the best possible seating experience. So today I want to make a comparison between the ships in Elite and the ships in Star Citizen. We are not going to be talking about the way they look, since it's very subjective whether you like one style over the other. But what we are going to be talking about is the game mechanic and the way that the ships are designed to fit into game mechanics in the two games, because there is some very noticeable differences. So to start with, let's look at how long you're going to be spending in each game in order to get access to a new ship and get it fitted out and ready to go. And to do the most fair comparison, I tried to find ships that were kind of similar in the two games. So I've gone with a Drake Cutlass Black, which is a great medium-sized multi-purpose ship in Star Citizen, and I compared that to a Python in Elite, which is also a medium multi-purpose ship. So they kind of serve the same type of role in the two games. They're kind of the same size class in the two games. In Star Citizen, a Drake Cutlass Black will cost you around 1.4 million Alpha USC. And you can probably expect to be farming, if you're farming for credits, you can probably expect to be farming around 200,000 per hour. That means in raw grind time, you're going to be spending 7 hours to grind the money you need in order to buy yourself a Cutlass Black. Let's compare that to the Python, which in Elite costs 57 million credits. And if you're effective and you have the ships for it already, which I'm assuming you do in both games, you can farm around 100 million credits per hour in Elite, meaning that farming a Python is only a 34-minute task. A very noticeable difference here. However, it doesn't stop there, because when you get a ship in Star Citizen, you get a ship that will, out of the box, stock, perform to about 80 to 90% of its full potential. That means there is room for improvements on the ship. You can change out modules like shields and weapons and those kind of things, quantum drives. But in many situations, it's not necessarily an upgrade. It's more of a side grade where, yeah, you might put in a faster quantum drive, but you're trading range as they consume more fuel. You might want to swap out some of the weapons. You might not get a whole lot of other more damage out of it, but you might like to have maybe laser cannons that shoot a little faster but hit harder, or maybe you want laser repeaters that shoot faster, do less damage per shot, something along those lines. But overall, your ship is very close to its full potential when you get it out of the box. And you don't need to spend much on modules. They are also relatively cheap compared to the ship, so you should only expect in Star Citizen to spend around 10% of the ship price on modules to upgrade it. So adding that on top, we end at approximately around 8 hours of playtime in order to make sure you have all the modules you need to fully upgrade your ship in Star Citizen. Over in Elite, the story is quite different. You see, in Elite, when you buy a ship, what you buy is a blank canvas. Ships in Elite are very bare bone when you get them. You can undock and they will fly and they will have the absolute minimum of weaponry fitted, but they will by no means be close to their full potential. In Elite, we're looking at probably closer to like 10-15%, that kind of area of the ship's full potential when you get it stock. So that means there's a lot of upgrades that needs to be done in order to get your full potential out of your ships. And that also is reflected in the module price. A good rule of thumb in Elite is you need to spend the same amount of money on modules as you did on the ship. So already now we are doubling the time you need to spend collecting money just to be able to buy all the equipment. But of course in Elite we also have engineering. Just fitting it up with the right modules doesn't cut it. If you want to get the full potential out of your ship, you need to engineer your ships as well. And that means you need to go and collect materials. And this, as players of Elite will know, this is where the time sink is. This is what takes time. Collecting money, that's not a problem. Collecting engineering material, that takes forever. It's really hard to guesstimate how much time it's going to take to upgrade a ship, as it depends hugely on your build. If you do an exploration build that doesn't have a lot of weapons, or you don't need to do a lot of shield boosters or anything like that, then you can probably engineer it relatively quickly. But combat builds, for instance, are notorious for taking a long time to engineer, so it depends a lot on the build that you're doing, how much time you're going to spend collecting materials. And I assume you're going to collect all the materials that you have nothing already, and I'm also assuming that you have the engineers unlocked. So engineers are unlocked, but you haven't collected any materials at all. You need to collect everything from scratch. My guesstimate is it's going to take you around 12 hours of efficient farming materials in order to get the materials you need to fully engineer a medium-sized ship like the Python. So if we add all this together, we ended up with 8 hours in Star Citizen, and in Elite we ended up with about an hour and 8 minutes for the modules. Let's say round it down to 1 hour to make it easier. And let's say 12 hours for the engineering upgrade, and you end up at 13 hours of gameplay in order to get a fully upgraded ship in Elite. So the time increase here is significant, with you having to spend more than 50% extra time in Elite compared to Star Citizen in order to get a fully upgraded ship. But it doesn't stop there, that's just the time to get the ships. As I said, ships in Elite is a blank canvas, whereas ships in Star Citizen is more like finished one-purpose ships. Like, while there are multi-purpose ships in Star Citizen, most of the cases when you buy a ship, it is designed for one task and one task only. That means if you buy a dedicated combat ship, well, you're never going to make that into a hauler, or you're never going to be able to make that into a mining ship. It's just not possible. You can't do it in Star Citizen. Unless the ship has a multifunction role from birth, you're not going to be able to transform the ship over to something else and fulfill another task. That can be done in Elite. While you can buy something that would be a dedicated combat ship, and you can turn it into a mining ship or to a trade ship if you want to, it might not be good for the task, but you could if you wanted to. And that's the point. So even though it takes longer for you to farm each individual ship, there's a much higher chance that you're going to be able to repurpose the ship. So I guess the balance for it, you can get the ships a little bit faster in Star Citizen compared to Elite, is kind of balanced out by the fact that you're probably going to want to get more different ships in Star Citizen than you would in Elite, simply because that the ships in Star Citizen are very narrow focused on a specific task. But I guess there's also a point to be made about the point in the unlock process where you get the ship. When Star Citizen, you get it almost all the way at the end. When you collect all the money, you buy your ship, and then you have it. Whereas in Elite, of course, you get it almost at the beginning of the process, and then at the beginning it's going to be mostly useless, but as you then begin to add more modules to it, it's slowly going to begin to become more and more like usable. And you can also stop halfway through the engineering process and say, okay, I'm going to just use the ship as it is now, then maybe I'm going to go in a few weeks and upgrade it later. And you can kind of begin to enjoy the ship a lot earlier in the process compared to what you could in Star Citizen. And the final thing here is, of course, in Star Citizen, you do have the option to just go and flash your credit card and then get the ship by paying for it with real money, an option that you do not have in Elite. Personally, I prefer to just unlock my ships in-game. For me, that's part of the game. It's part of the enjoyable thing, is to go and save up for a new ship. Whether you like that practice of being able to just pay for the ships or not, well, at least it's worth having in mind if you're looking at the two games. I'm very interested to hear your opinion about this type of content. Do you like these, like, put Elite Star Citizen up against each other and talk about the pros and cons of both sides? Put it in the comment section below if you have anything to say. But that's it for today. Please go down and subscribe to the channel, that would mean a lot to me. And until next time, I will see you guys in space.